Hello, everybody. Welcome back to yet another political episode. So, we can officially say it's less than a week till Election Day 2025. And I'm looking forward to Tuesday, November the 4th, because we have 4 major races happening. And I once again want to clarify, as usual on this channel, I at least make one mistake every single year. And today, my biggest mistake this year is skipping a race, actually. I have not reviewed this race at all because I had zero idea this race was actually even happening. But Georgia actually has a compatible Georgia Public Service Commission race, which is the reason why we didn't know about it, because it was a special election. In this said race, the incumbent public special service. Yes, here we go. The incumbent, looking here, is what the heck? Yeah, we've had some races like this every single year, but I want to believe, if I'm correct, yes, Tim Echols, who is the incumbent, is running for re-election against Alicia Johnson. And Johnson, we can just spoil the news right now, but there has been Democratic primaries. If you can tell, we have not reviewed those primaries. No videos of these primaries exist, unfortunately. I'm very disappointed. There was even a debate and everything for the primary. So, tough. I mean, we're bound to make mistakes, but you also have another race also in District 3 between Fitz Johnson and Peter Hubbard. Fitz Johnson's running for re-election. And of course, you have Tim Echols. And knowing the context of Tim Echols, he's a pretty strong, legit dude. I mean, yeah, 2016, you can't really count 2016 because, let's be honest, Georgia was much more conservative in 2016, and not to mention Democrats were not represented in 2016. You had a libertarian named Eric Hoskin who ended up polling 33.42%. The best performance, I wouldn't say the best performance ever, but he, even before that in 2010, let's see if there's an election in 2010. I doubt it. There was an election because that's when he runs for re-election. Public Service Commission, yeah, you'll see Tim Echols, you can say he's strong, you could say he's not. He's a pretty popular dude. He's been in the commission for years. And I just don't think that Democrats are going to pull it off, specifically because they don't have that energy they need to win. That is the African American vote. They need the African Americans to show up and vote. There's a chance that Alicia Johnson could pull it off, specifically with low Republican turnout. But let's be honest, you have the 2024 Supreme Court race that I like to talk about a lot. Conservatives swept the board. Even picking up solid Democrat Clayton County, which was like, holy cow. That's how impactful, you don't know which candidate's which. Like, a lot of people are like, who am I voting for again? So that's why I'm very critical about independent in nonpartisan races, even though you could say, well, Supreme Court's supposed to be nonpartisan, right? Well, yeah, on paper, yes, but in order to support an ideological ticket, because you're running an ideological race, you have the liberal candidate and the conservative candidate, and we think of how we distinguish both of them is by political party. So it helps to have you run a political race. But I totally get the fact that, this whole thing, the process has to be nonpartisan because judges are supposed to be nonpartisan. But we're going to go and touch back with Georgia a little bit because we're going to talk about the 4 major races that's going to be happening in less than a week now. And starting with the most compatible race, and that is the state of New Jersey. That state, let's see here. Yes, is a very, very tight race between Mikey Sherrill and Jack Ciattarelli. You can see here that by the average currently, Mikey Sherrill is leading by 5.1. Okay, this is very good. Recently, I would imagine she had a little rebound, but in some polls, she is leading by like 3.7 according to Race to the White House here. And Real Clear Politics, she's up by 5. Sometimes they don't count some polls. I don't know if they're biased or somewhat, but the point is the recent polls show Jack and Mikey just tight, neck and neck. And I have released in some videos and some, like, I think, now I've made it clear that I'm not saying Jack Ciattarelli is going to win, but I think he's going to win, specifically because of the momentum. You are seeing the way this race is going. He's winning Democrat endorsements, more Democrat endorsements than Republican endorsements, on the other hand, for Mikey Sherrill. And you have the climate of this race being unfavorable for Democrats. You have an unpopular Democrat governor, and you have, obviously, the trends that the last 3 elections in the state have been very, very favorable for Republicans, especially in this area, very Republican. We noticed that Curtis Bashaw performed very well over here when it came to trending, when it comes to basically the shift, a rightward shift over here. Well, Andy Kim in the Senate race did very good over here. That's a good sign for 2025, and here we go. We're hoping, as you know, with the potential issues, crime, affordability, Zohran Mamdani, because it's true, he is an issue in this race. And you also have sanctuary city status in Newark. That this trend is going to continue, but not as much as 2021. But we're hoping that regardless if it's a little bit, it would be enough to cap it for Jack. You saw in this race, these 2 counties shifting to the right. Let's see here. By like 12 points, 12 percentage points to the right. We're hoping and we're wanting to get it over by 5 points or 7 points. We are not expecting it to be more redder. Otherwise, it's close to flipping Republican, like Jack would win it. And we are probably winning this race in a landslide, which isn't going to happen. But our goal is to continue to get these not to get them redder, but to keep them red, okay, when it comes to the trends. And we also want to make them bigger. Obviously we got to make it's going to be difficult because regardless, we want to make sure that we are performing better in these counties, Essex and Hudson, better compared to 2021. If we don't perform better to these 2 counties compared to 2021, then these counties are trending left, and we don't want that. We also want to probably have Union County go more out of everything, have 12% go for Union County. But our results for this race has always been, and our opinions and forecasts of this race since September has always been that Jack Ciattarelli would be carrying 14 counties and Mikey Sherrill carrying 9 counties. We've had the flips in these counties include Passaic and Bergen counties. We did mention that Passaic County was super close to flipping for Jack Ciattarelli in 2021. It didn't, however. It was somewhat of a close race. It was a 3-point defeat along the lines of Somerset County. Some people think Somerset could flip to Jack this year. But I do think that, let's see here. These 2, Somerset is trending a little left, meaning that, compared to 2017 was a better situation for the Republican in that race compared to Jack. What we could do, and then we've seen in previous races in 2024, for example, this county go rightward. And that's what I'm hoping. We have it go right. Where can we pick it up? I don't know, but it's possible. And I've mentioned it before. We want to win the bridge, okay? Make a bridge, because that's the key to victory. That probably means if we're winning this thing by like 1 point or something like that. But we got to break the dam and the blue wall of New Jersey. Break the dam, break the blue dam, the blue wall, whatever you want to call it, and we score victory. But right now, this is a situation, what we're looking at right now. This is a map that you should be expecting. My expectation is Bergen County and Passaic County for Jack Ciattarelli. Obviously, that can change. Bergen County, we saw that county go for Jack by 5 in 2021. But in recent years, this county's been trending right just like Passaic County. And not to mention, Jack has seen great endorsements, lots of endorsements in Bergen County, specifically when it came to the VOD, the Orthodox Jewish group that backed Jack Ciattarelli this year. So we are looking forward to seeing this go for Jack once again. But you have this sort of situation. That's kind of what we're looking at right now in Virginia. And Virginia is going to be a bit rough. We're expecting Abigail Spanberger to pull off a win, specifically in this Commonwealth of Virginia. Okay? And because, Winsome Shears has run a very clumsy campaign. She did not have a good debate, saying that straight out. And it looks like she's got a little bit momentum in the polls again, which is not good for her. And although originally suggesting a close race, can it still be close? It can, but it looks like Abigail Spanberger made up her original fall. But we'll see how it goes. But I am predicting that this race is probably going to go for Spanberger. What's it going to look like? Let's see here. We'll go ahead and color these. We'll have this county. I don't know about the federal workers and how that's going to impact this county. But I would imagine federal workers are going to be in the Nova region. This is more Nova compared to down here. You might have some, but I think it's not going to make much of a huge impact. We'll go ahead and call Virginia Beach and give it back to Spanberger. You also have, I think that county is also going. I got to pull up the Virginia county map because honestly, I am clueless with my Virginia counties, even though we've been covering Virginia all this whole entire year. So let's go ahead and pull up the Virginia county map. Okay, so you got Chesterfield County. We have that in blue. We got these counties. We got Surry County. I believe Surry will probably stay for Winsome Shears. But we can always give it more of a toss-up. But James County, I would say this county right here, that is James City. But I'm predicting Shears will win in Prince Edward. Well, I don't know. Maybe Prince Edward goes to Spanberger or Spitberger. A lot of people like to call her. just judging on the campaign she's running so far, I don't think it's going to be anything big. Let's be real. We just got to hope that Winsome Earl-Shears loses by 4 points. Or somehow, some way overperforms Trump, which I don't think everyone expects her to do that. Just being quite honest with you. Who expects Winsome Shears to overperform Trump? I would like that. Let's be honest. I'm rooting for her success. I'm not rooting against her at all. But let's be honest. She's run a very clumsy, complicated campaign. But yeah, I just say, look, I think our party has done a very good job accepting the defeat for this race prior, so we don't get the cold water splashed in our faces on election day. We did that with Andy Beshear, but the thing with Andy Beshear in 2023, we were expecting much of a closer race. Nope. We were talking about how good and how strong Daniel Cameron was, and Daniel Cameron proved to be so incompetent. Now he's running for the Senate, and I think he's going to lose that nomination. Just saying, he lost badly to Andy Beshear, and Andy Beshear won by 5 points. No one was expecting that. We were expecting a 2-point win, not a 5-point win. That was that was cold water, just to be quite honest. But now, when it comes to Winsome Earl-Shears, I think we're doing a good job. Just thinking, okay, we don't expect much when it comes to Winsome Earl-Shears, and we don't have overwhelming expectations that, this is going to be a close race. And out of everything, a lot of people are saying, it's going to be a 10-point win for Abigail Spanberger, which I would think would be the worst-case scenario for Republicans, right? Worst-case scenario. So really, a poor performance in Virginia, no one's rooting for that. But if we get one, it's not going to be the end of the world. We all know that Abigail, the reason would be because Earl-Shears is running a very, very clumsy campaign. I think Surry County would go for Spanberger at this point, seeing that, she's struggling with Trump voters, and with Trump voters is what gave Trump Surry County to begin with. And I mean, it's an ideologically divided county. I mean, I had that county for Shears all this time, but now I'm just thinking, okay, she's struggling with Trump voters. I'm not expecting much, but hey, I hope she does pick it up. But this is sort of what I'm thinking. I may have colored some counties that shouldn't be colored, but this is my map for Virginia. And then we hop all the way to Pennsylvania, because there are two major races in Pennsylvania. And I'm just going to go ahead and cover one of them. And that is the Superior Court judge election. And that election is going to be quite difficult to predict, because unfortunately we have no polls in that said election. But we do have some detail of the candidates, and that is, we have Brandon Newman, who is the incumbent. He's not the incumbent. This is the vacant seat. He is a judge of Washington County, which we do know is right over here, and that would only mean that Washington County will go shifting to the right. So would Batista win? Because she has that obstacle, because Brent Newman is the favorite son in the West, going to be the favorite son in the West. I would say this is more Appalachian, though. The mining areas, absolutely, yes. He's going to mainly do well over here, and probably Pittsburgh. I don't think maybe Pittsburgh would be more close. I'm more concerned about turnout. Are Republicans going to turn out for these races? Democrats will probably turn out, because we have a Supreme Court race by retention, which obviously Democrats want to eliminate. All these are Democrats, and they're probably going to vote yes, in order to keep them all. and I mean, I'm really concerned about the partisan races. I think we can pull off the big ones. It's just turnout. Turnout is what matters, and Batista faces the challenge of her being, let's just say, what's Batista? What is Maria Batista, and what's her background? She's the president of Judge Government Services. Does that mean she's a judge herself? She was even the nominee for the Superior Court, but her name, she was running along with Harry Smale. So you can't necessarily say that all this red, was this the doing of Smale, or was this the doing of Maria Batista? I've no clue. But now you have Maria Batista running her own race. And I can only think that, I think personally that it's going to look like a 2020 map. I have posted the map this week to my community feed, and you can see it on the community tab. That map's still there. I'm just seeing, does my opinion still matter? Does it still change? Really, I have my questions about Berks County. Okay? Berks County has become a reliably swing and compatible community right here. And the question is, does it go for Newman or does it go for Maria Batista? Now, in 2023, we saw Berks County go for Danielle McCaffrey. How much, you may ask? Well, precincts says it was a significant amount. I'm looking at this area here. Let's see if the 2023 map is still up for... I don't expect it to, but... Let's see. Unclear. All right. All right, there we go. So, yeah, I mean, it wasn't by much. It was like 51%. Caroline Carluccio. That was for, of course, the race in regards to the Supreme Court. So I would expect this county go Republican, specifically because, I mean, it was a poor showing in a county where if you had an abortion referendum, this county would probably overwhelmingly support that abortion referendum. And now you have the county backing the pro-choice candidate by 51%. This race, Superior Court race has nothing to do with abortion. Therefore, I don't think Berks County is going to come out and support. Therefore, it's going to probably look a lot like the 2023 race and that what happened 2 years ago. Can it be likely? Is that likely the case? I am not sure. We've seen many cases and many different examples of elections where it's starting to look a lot like this. Like, for example, the 2016, let's go back to 2022. 2022, you saw the Senate race, exact same results, although different shades of colors, as 2020. Okay, this map is becoming more common, more popular. Especially when it comes to Republicans not turning out in these elections. And if you get very lucky, if you get enough Republicans, like a mediocre performance, you get Berks County. But you also have 2020. Pardon me. Yeah, 2020. You got a presidential map with this same alignment. 13 counties for Democrats, the rest for Republicans. And then finally, in 2016, you had Although you could have seen a map. Do you have a similar map? Good performances for Republicans back in 2017. Not much anymore. We did very good with the turnout back then. Yeah, I was going to say the Attorney General race for 2016. It's here. They had it. I'm guessing they didn't put down the state races, so I'll just type it up. No. Pennsylvania Attorney General race. Yes, you have Josh Shapiro. Same alignment right here. You see? So, you get what I'm saying. This map has become very, very, very common. It's implicated. It's a map representing more closer races, or like best performance for Dems by 5 points. So I would not be surprised at all if you see this map be the final result of Election Day. And then we'll see in our final prediction on Monday for if this is going to be the case. But just to let you all know, I'm only doing one. Actually, hang on. I caught my mistake. This county right here holds big Democrat county. Accidentally went to Republicans. But just to let you all know, Monday, doing the full predictions of all 8 races, because it might be a longer video, but we're doing half, a little preview of where I think things are at in this week around. And I'm expecting Dems to probably pick up Pennsylvania, mostly because of turnout. But the biggest thing is going to be New Jersey. Don't get your hopes up over New Jersey. Jack has a long hill to climb, and obviously, we still have a lot somehow, I'm still questioning the fact that, there's a big chance that this race could be spoiled. It could go the opposite direction. Cheryl could be gaining or overperform Murphy due to the Trump derangement, the Trump derangement syndrome. And Trump being in the White House, they tend to be more active that time around than they are with Democrats in the White House. But we're going to have to see. I mean, go in with an open mind. And it might sound like I'm ending the video, but I'm not, because we have our last state, and that is the state of Georgia, the state that we never covered this whole entire year. All the Georgians are in disgrace. They are not happy with me, as I ignored the Peach State, which is a very good state indeed. And it looks like, this is a race that I can confidently say that, Republicans are probably going to keep. If we lose Georgia, then that's bad. I'm just saying. That's bad. Especially with Tim Echols. He is the high-profile candidate. Who's Alicia Johnson? So many Alicia Johnsons around the country. Wikipedia can't even have a link for her. So, really, how is she going to pull this one off? Well, I have no clue. All she needs is the African-American votes. And I'll tell you, the African-American voters don't like voting in midterm elections. They don't like voting in special elections. And this being a special election in a non-election year, you can expect a very poor African-American turnout, which makes me think and wonder if you got the old traditional Republican suburbs going for Tim Echols. But we'll go ahead and call the obvious ones. Now, you can't use the 2016 map as a replica because, let's be honest, Tim Echols wouldn't have been getting 66.58% if he wasn't running against the Libertarian. You could use 2010, but that's so long ago, 15 years ago. So what I recommend is probably using the 2022 maps, because I think now it could be, I don't think it's going to be a close race. I think Echols will win by over 5. Will he do better than Brian Kemp? You don't know about that, but I do think that will pick up it in the areas that Trump did. Let's go ahead and call the Johnson counties first. With this probably being these counties. I'm not sure about Gwinnett. Although, yeah, Gwinnett is in Cobb counties. We'll go ahead and call Douglas. In Newton County, that's the other thing. Let's go ahead and pull Jackson Jude. Obviously, you did see Democrats gain in the metropolitan area for this is past elections. Why is it shooting off links? That is so ridiculous. Like, this is why I do not like. Yeah, you're seeing Democrat gain Newton counties that I just wish we got more of a clear map. Let's see if we have the Wikipedia map tell us. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be picking up the counties in the 60% mile area. Really, he could pick up Cobb, Gwinnett, and Newton. We're going to have to see if he ends up doing that. But this is a map you could be expecting for Tim Echols. Now, don't go walking in thinking, oh, Tim Echols, you better win this. It has to look exactly like this. Otherwise, this is a big loss for the GOP. Then I don't know what to tell you. Other than you're going to set yourself up for a major disappointment. But I do think that Echols is going to do around the same margin as, or the same alignment, close to the same alignment as like Brian Kemp in his performance. Looking here, he should probably carry Clay County pretty, not handingly, never say handingly, but let's see if it actually works this time. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, solid Democrat. That makes me wonder if Gwinnett actually probably won't. Cobb County, 14, almost solid Democrat. We'll go ahead and call Cobb for now. We'll have Echols win in these areas, these counties. This is pretty much my map. Although I'm not that really confident about this alignment. But you could go into Election Day expecting a map looking close to something like this. Okay? This is a pretty good Echols or Republican win. But anyway, what do you guys think in regards to this video? We are counting down 6 days to Election Day. As of, today's technically day 7, but this video is coming out tomorrow. What do you guys think in regards to this video? Let me know down below. And as always, see you all in the next political episode.